Hello, everyone. Have you ever heard of an executor and wondered what is that? What do they do? Do I have to pay them? How are they chosen? Well, we're going to answer these questions and others today. I'm Raluca. I offer estate planning, family law, and immigration services to my clients. I'm here with my office and marketing manager, Nina Clear. Thank you for all your likes, shares, and comments. We really appreciate all your support as it helps others to see our videos.
Tell us why you wanted to talk about this today.
Most people have heard the word executor, but they don't really know what it means. So I wanted to try to make it easy for everyone to understand.
Okay, so tell us, what is an executor?
In Georgia, and we want to make sure people know that our information is based on Georgia law only. If they are outside Georgia, they should consult an estate planning attorney in their state. So in Georgia, an executor is also called a personal representative, or PR. They help ensure an estate is distributed as a person wished in their will. If there was no will, they are called an administrator. Both are appointed by the probate court in Georgia.
And what do their duties include?
When someone has died, the personal representative makes sure that there is an inventory of all belongings in the estate. They sell any belongings that need to be sold at the market value. They pay any debts. And after doing that, they distribute anything left over as the person who died wanted. They must also file the taxes for the person who died and ensure any owed taxes are paid.
Sounds like a lot of work.
It can be, especially if the estate is very complex.
So can you pick who your executor will be before you die?
Yes, you can. Many people will name their executor in their will, but keep in mind that even if they are named in the will, the probate court must make the appointment of them as the personal representative.
Do you have any tips for people for when they pick an executor?
Yes, I would recommend picking someone who is detail-oriented, logical, responsible, and able to withstand emotional issues, as there are often high emotions when someone has died and when the asset distribution is involved, and a good money manager.
Who handles the court appointing them?
Usually the executor files for this with the probate court.
And why do you say usually?
Administering an estate can be very complicated. Georgia has strict laws about how and when things must be done. If you're not familiar with the laws, I recommend that you hire an attorney who is, to help you with the process. It is also helpful to have them available to answer questions along the way and ensure everything is done in the time required under the statute.
So if they hire an attorney, that attorney might file for them then?
Yes.
Okay. And does the executor pay for that attorney with their own money?
No, this can be paid for by the estate.
Can anyone be the executor?
In Georgia, they must be 18 and of sound mind, meaning they are competent. So you can also appoint a corporation in Georgia or co-executors, but I don't recommend this.
Why not?
Well, naming an individual usually makes the process easier. Co-executors may not agree on how to process the estate, and when it is a corporation, it can add even greater complexity.
So can it be someone in your family who is a named beneficiary in the will?
Yes, it can be.
What about if there's no will? How's that person picked?
Then the court picks them.
And how do they do that?
They follow statutory guidelines. The surviving spouse has first priority. Then they look at other heirs, other people, and even creditors. The court is required to pick the person who will best serve the interests of the estate.
So the estate will pay for an attorney to be hired. Does it also pay the executor?
Usually.
How is that determined?
If the will says how much they will be paid, that is usually followed. Otherwise, there are guidelines set out by Georgia law based on the value of the estate. This can be a complex calculation depending on the size of the estate. And again, I recommend speaking to a legal counsel to ensure the payment is accurate if there is one based on statutory guidelines.
What about if the executor does not do what the will says?
Every executor has a fiduciary duty to the estate. That is a very high standard. What it means is that you put the estate's interests above everyone's, even your own. Everything they do for the estate must be done in good faith for the best interests of the estate. If they do not act in an appropriate manner and have done something to damage the estate, they will have to answer to the court.
So what about if someone in the family disagrees with what the executor has done?
Then they can request an accounting in court. If they want a new executor, they will usually need to prove that the executor has not acted in the best interest of the estate.
Can you give an example of this?
Sure. Sometimes an executor may think they are helping a beneficiary by, let's say, sell some estate asset for below market value. However, while this benefits the buyer, it is probably damaging to the estate and not in the estate's best interests. Keep in mind the executor will need to account for everything they have done with the court and may be liable if they cannot show they did what was best for the estate.
So